Hey, it's a celebration. Whole Leaf gang in here. Lil Leaf out. Free game. God's plan. You see a panel like a Panamera. Till then, hate me catching at the apex. The climax way bigger than the IMAX. Oh Lord. Big screen to make it hit. You taking hits to make you ball up, but true say I was built for the road.
Yeah. Yo, it's your boy Just Prince.
And it's your boy Benny.
Sugi's not here today. She's still on vacation, but we're gonna still rock out with her. She's missing out on this great interview we have, and we are the Balance Effect Podcast here promoting entrepreneurship and bossing up in every way possible.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what we do, man, and we want to do it. Making sure everybody's improving themselves, personal development, character development, all that stuff. And it's my esteemed pleasure here to just have not only a young black man, a dude from the Bronx doing his thing in marketing, music, everything aspect as far as growing organically on social media. I have my boy Terrence Zenix Bell here, man. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man. It's been a long time coming, man. I reached out to you like 2 months ago. This guy's a busy guy, man. I had to kind of pull some coattails and stuff like that to get him on here, but we finally got him in, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man.
How you feeling today, man? Everything good?
I feel good, man. A little tired, long business day, but blessed to be here, blessed to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Of course, man. With all this Corona stuff going on, man, we got to be blessed to just even be here, But I'm thankful for you to have for you to be here today with us. So I kind of want to go into your background and your history and stuff like that. Where you obviously everybody knows from the Bronx. I just said that, but just kind of give us a story of how you grew to be the person you are, because it's a great story, right?
Right. I feel you. To make a long story short, in the best way possible, grew up in the Bronx. Majority went to St. Ray's High School. Ended up going to Alfred State College. That didn't last for too long. Was there for about 2 years. Started selling Instagram accounts. Always been that kid on social media. I had Facebook since I was 13, 14, through my sister, my older sister, and stuff like that at the time. Was selling accounts in college, because building accounts and selling accounts was really easy on Instagram. It was still kind of, you would say, brand new. And we were doing that. I was making some side money. I wasn't doing that well in school by then. I remember a guidance counselor, I will never forget him. His name is Dr. Montgomery. He brought me to his office. He's always trying to encourage me, to do the right thing, to focus on my scholastics. He has his doctorates, kind of on a mentorship type thing. I remember he just was giving me just a little bit of how a payment would be for someone who had a doctorates and got his scholastic degree and got the job he wanted. And when I was hearing the figures, it kind of resembled what I was doing in my dorm room already, or at least I was close to it. You know what I mean? And I was just you spent all this time, cultivating, which is nothing wrong. Scholastics is good for some people. It's not for others, spent all this time cultivating a dream, and just for you to still have to hustle every day to keep that dream going. You know what I mean? And when I realized that, I waited till the next break. I think it was spring break, and I just didn't go back. Kind of gave up on my stuff too. Just left all my stuff in my dorm room. Never went back for it. Just stayed home. That didn't, after that, didn't really last long before my dad. I started working on the business. I really focused on I'm gonna turn this into a business. I started watching Ty Lopez when he started coming out, the guy with the book in the garage type thing. Started really getting into that type of stuff. Was at home learning, do all types of stuff. I think it was Christmas we got there. And my dad was just on some I don't know, he just had an attitude. Your parents just giving you that off energy. So he just giving me some off energy. We went in the car, we got into some argument. I ended up getting kicked out on Christmas moving forward. Was kind of homeless, had to get my friends to pick me up. I only had a couple of stuff. My dad let me get my stuff and things like that I had while I was there. From there, I was jumping from couch to couch for a little while. And then my friend Nick let me stay at his crib. His parents blessed me with a home, and things like that. And I slept on his couch for a little while, and that's really where I built my business. And then from there, I got into I was on Meetup. You ever heard of that app before?
What is
so
that?
Meetup used to. Well, I'm not sure if it's still like this. I haven't really been on it recently, but it used to be this app where you can find events going on in the city, and you can click on it, and you can they're welcoming people. You can say you're coming, and then show up, and all these types of things. I ended up getting to an investment club, and I was lucky. You know what I mean? I was also I was young when I went to school, so when I came back, I was really 18. Still wasn't able to really go into clubs and stuff like that. but I used to sneak into the 40/40 club downtown on 23rd Street, and there used to be investment meetings at the top. I used to just go there. No one used to ask my age because I would just try to like act as professional as possible, like scoot up, move up. And I used to just go there and just soak up the knowledge. You know what I mean? Because like I always knew the creative side. You know what I mean? How to build accounts, how to get people, how to get the audience. How to grow. But I never understood the business side. You know what I mean? Of like how to attain clients, managing, organizing. What is a business deal? What is the dictation going on and things like that in the room. So after going there, I say like it was a minute. It was like 2-3 months. The main host there, Bakari, really like took a liking to me. We became friends, things like that. And I was going, I was only making like maybe like $1,000-$2,000 that month and things like that. So after you you do food, I had no clothes, so I was buying clothes, and things like that. And I was also he had like a tip jar. I would always just throw $20 in there just to like show that I care about participating in the event. Eventually, Bakari took me under his wing and was really just teaching me the ropes and things like that. While I was there, and like it was really like showing me how to assess a deal and how to sell a deal and what an investment is, things like that. And I thought at first like the social media is a cool business, but like maybe this investing thing might be something that if I hook my reels into, I can really find some success. But that's when I met John Henry. I'm not sure if you know him. He's just he's an entrepreneur that I've worked with before, very early as well. And he really had faith in me. He saw the stuff I was doing and all the pages I was buying and selling and all these brands I was kind of helping but like not getting credit for and things like that. And he practically mentored me, hired me as a social media worker for him, and let me really plan out and get his content popping. You know what I mean? Like he already had someone making content for him and things like that, but he'd invite me to the office and literally like sit me down, show me some business stuff, show me like what a business environment is like actually during the day, as well as giving me a safe place to work other than being on my man's couch all the time. So I have a routine. Now I'm outside. You know what I mean? So I can focus on what I'm doing, as well as he's giving me an opportunity to build a case study. You know what I mean? I didn't know what a case study was at first, but like an opportunity to put my work into something, to grow into something bigger. After building his brand, we really grew. I grew him to about like 100 something K. He got the Vice deal where he had a Vice show, Hustle. That was really like the peak for us and things like that. And then, every great relationship, great friend, I still love him all the time. Every great relationship comes to an end. So, after that, we stopped doing brand together. But after that, he's connected me to so many great people because this is what the importance of networking is, From me going to these meetings and all these amazing faces I've met, let them be people I never talk to again or people I have retained communication with. Like, I now created a small network and web of people that can help me in multiple ways. And then now I have a commodity that I know how to dictate and I know how to preach to them so that they know what I'm selling. And it doesn't feel like selling, it's storytelling. You know what I mean? So I'm able to storytell these people because I've used the experience I used with John. John introduced me to Brandon Bryant, who's another amazing investor and great guy, an influencer as well. All these people, are teaching me as well as I'm assisting them. So they don't mind mentoring me knowing that I have the tools to also help them as well. It's just
one hand wash the other.
You know what I mean? It's just more refinement, and I am super grateful that people were able to see that in me. You know what I mean? But on top of that, it was the hustle, it was the consistency, it was me staying on top of things. Like even when people weren't answering me, like what's going on, but also not being overzealous. You know what I mean? Knowing is genuine. You know what I mean? I'm just genuinely here for the knowledge, and then whatever money comes with that, that's cool. From there, I ended up doing some really cool business with Disney as well as Red Bull. I got to grow some really good people. Young Bands is a really good artist I've worked with as well. Asia 9. I've done smaller campaigns with different people, Adidas, things like that. So it's just like after practically learning all these things and doing all these experiences, I realized it was cool making the money. It was cool having it, building the success, but what am I leaving for other people behind me? You know what I mean? And on top of that, I was learning from all my mentors, it's not just about building a brand, it's about building a community. You know what I mean? Where you can share this knowledge and you can share with these people. John and Brandon and Bakari and all these people I would call my mentors, they weren't just working and making all this money. They were, investing into black-owned coffee shops. You know what I mean? Investing into all these black-owned businesses. You know what I mean? Harlem Capital. That's what they do. You know what I mean? As well as black female black businesses as well. You know what I mean? And just the community is on restoring Harlem, restoring this, keeping it, cultural. You know what I mean?
Conservation.
Of some sort. So I really think that with all that, it cultivated where I'm at now, where I have built an agency with some employees that I try to be the most conscious person, understanding that people are people, everyone's human, there's a life going on. I try to be as a conscious boss as well as a conscious human being, and just try to enjoy life as much as possible, but also try to impact them as much as possible as well.
Wow, that's a lot of information. So I'm trying to soak that up right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So, and still keeping the same context of the interview, but I mean, wow, that's crazy. So basically go from nothing to something, and I can relate to that.
Right.
As far as just growing organically.
Just to touch on that too, I think the most important part, the string of it all, is the relationships and your ability to see that that's the most important part.
Right.
Not to take for granted the fact that it's not just what you can do, it's who you're doing it with and that relationship between them. That's so dope.
Yeah, man.
So dope.
Because you just learn that. At least I learned. I feel like everyone has different perspectives when they do things and things like that. You know what I mean? But I learned very early that cool, I'm helping this person, and while I was helping that person, I met 20 other people who could potentially pay me in the future.
Right.
So I don't mind, and it's, on top of that, it's called passion projects. I genuinely enjoy working on these people's stuff, and when that happens, you meet people that you can also turn down, or you can genuinely continue to appreciate that stuff. And that's one thing I've always tried to seek. You know what I mean? Try to have some type of passion in what you do, or you're going to hate what you do. You're going to get to a point where everything becomes in abundance. You could love something, but the moment you start doing too much, like an artist, you know what I mean? An artist loves painting, but the moment he starts commissioning his paintings, he got to do what everybody else says, and then he starts disliking what he loved at a point. You know what I mean? So same thing here.
Got you. No, 100%. So one of the things that we try to ask a lot of the people that we have, because we strive ourselves on, highlighting, black and brown people, just people of color,
right?
And they're doing their thing in their respective fields of business. So the question that the budding question I always ask is what is an entrepreneur in Zenix words? What is your definition, or what defines an entrepreneur, and what does it look like?
Right. Shoot. Oh, it's tough. I think an entrepreneur is just somebody who understands that they have a goal, and they will not conform to anyone or anything to get to where they need to be, and let that need that they need to take this avenue. They don't mind going different routes to get to that goal. And there's, an entrepreneur is also somebody who can understand that, there's the life of complacency. You know what I mean? At some point, there has to be a place where you settle down, but most entrepreneurs don't. So.
Got you. So you're kind of filling that void.
Yeah.
Right. Got you. Okay. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm an entrepreneur, especially. I don't think I was when I was building my wealth. Just to take that seriously, because I believe there's a difference between a business and a service. You know what I mean? For a while, I was just doing a service, which is what I was trying to touch on in my story. You know what I mean? I was by myself doing a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But
Nah, you go. We curse on him.
Cool. That makes me feel so much better. Fuck it. No, but for real, it's just a lot of people do a lot of shit. Well, I lost it. I lost what I was gonna say.
No. You said you were talking about how that when you were trying to when you were building your wealth or whatever, you were just focusing on one thing. You consider yourself a marketer.
I'm a marketer. I felt like it's not really a job, but I was doing a service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that I have a team, I'm building a team of people who are also helping me with my dream, which is also impacting other communities and things like that. Now I say I'm the entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I have my hand in multiple businesses now. I have some investments now. You know what I mean? I'm doing multiple things. Day in and day out to make a dream happen. You know what I mean?
Shit, the dollar in the dream, man. That's what's up, man. I really look up to a lot of the stuff you're doing, and to be so young. How old are you, man?
23 now.
Oh man,
I just turned 23 August 17th.
Old, bro. Make me feel old, man. I had you almost by 9 years, man. That's crazy, but But hey, man, black don't crack. I guess, man. That's what it is. But kind of like running through my notes, right? I know you touched up on this, but I kind of want you to dive in depth of like how'd you get started in like the marketing and advertising, and then kind of talk about your business. You know what I mean? In more in depth, so like people can understand like what is exactly that you do on a day in and day out basis.
All right, cool. So I mean, like how I got into marketing and stuff like that. Like I said, I always kind of was in social, was very interested in marketing before it was marketing. I didn't know it was marketing. I just thought it was talking to people. You know what I mean? Getting your stuff out there. I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I was kind of like an attention seeker. So, you know, that's something that I always kind of worked on. And then from there, like after I built my agency, my day to day became like, I'm on the phone all the time talking to clients really about like, how we're going to move this content, content creation down to, promotion schedules, down to organizing like, campaigns from different influencers, campaigns from different, campaigns from different sources, ads as well. Is just balancing a team. That's really been the hardest part, I would say, of what I do day to day. And I think of all businesses, like I will recommend that if you have a business, start as a service and work your way up, because like having a team is difficult. You have to deal with everyone else's stuff as well. You know what I mean? Which is something I'm not used to. I was in 3 years in business before I started building a team. So like that was the one thing that really was the hardest. But it was like the grind that I did to get really into marketing was like commenting, constantly doing the same things every day, which was like being on YouTube, learning and stuff. I ended up meeting Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez blessed me with his course for like $200, stuff like that, when it was like $1,000. And I got into like the first, how he sells that social media marketing campaign. I was one of the first people on there. Like I have like pictures and like videos when I was teaching on there as well. So like I was one of the first people on there. So really building connections, you know what I mean? Talking to people giving me a chance, not saying no. That's the one thing I've learned from, I really take from Gary Vee is like not saying no part. Like, you want to do that as a business. You want to build credibility. Like, reputation is everything. Like, even for the show, you know what I mean? As this show builds, what's going to really build the foundation is the credibility that you guys will continue to talk about things that your fans love to talk about. I love to hear about, my bad. But, like, seriously, like, it's all about consistency and reputation. And after that, everything else will fall into place. Because if you're doing the right thing and you're doing it consistently, everything else will come to you. Abundance will come to you. Too many people are going to be coming to you, and then you have to learn different problems. And I think that was the one thing I wasn't, I didn't know what was going to happen, was just really like, there's always, you ever heard like the songs, like there's always like no matter like 99 problems, you know what I mean? So like, I never really believed that. I was like, oh man, once you get some money, like everything else just becomes
more problems.
More money, more problems. But like, I was thinking like, once you get a certain amount of money, if you living pretty like, you don't have to OD. I mean, if you go to buy cars and all that stuff, of course. But if you're living like on some regular shit, then you should be pretty good. And nah, man, for real. Like no matter how you bring in that money, there's gonna be more stress in acquiring it and keeping it as well. Because that's the whole thing about lottery tickets, and then that's what I learned. Like someone could win a lottery ticket, get millions of dollars, and then we question like how they burn out their whole lottery ticket, right? How did they like just make it like how did you get millions of dollars and just lose it in a couple years? Because they didn't find a way to consistently bring in income. You know what I mean? They didn't have a purpose, or they spent all their money trying to find one and then fell into drugs or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is really important. It's just out of my day to day is that and having purpose. You know what I mean? Once you have purpose, your day to day you'll figure out. You know what I mean? Like I believe everyone has a personal life. In personal ways. Like I can't tell you how to run a podcast, and I bet you can't tell Joe Rogan how to run a podcast. He might run his shit totally different from yours. You know what I mean? I believe everyone has a personal schedule and a personal path, and it's more of using everyone else's knowledge around you, the things you learn on YouTube, podcasts you're watching, things like that. You know what I mean? Using that to make your own lane. You know what I mean? And feel comfortable in what you're doing, because from there people will gravitate. You know what I mean? We live in the age of social media and knowledge. It's 2 seconds.
Got you. So one of the things that stood out to me was, the lottery tickets mentioned that you had said something about, if people go broke.
Right.
Like I feel that like and I learned that as I've grown older and just speaking to people and listening to people that are in finance. Like if you're not able to manage $1,000, there's no way in hell you'll be able to manage $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, $100 million. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like that $1,000 is kind of going to show you how you're going to be able to save it, budget it, how you're going to be able to do things. So it's like, you're right. The more money you make, the more problems it is, right? So, yeah, like, but how are you able to manage your money now? Like, you're getting this influx of money like at a young age, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you able to manage that, right?
I mean, like, everyone's different. I believe everyone has their vices.
Oh, I do, yeah.
We all have our vices. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna sit here and play like a fairy tale, like, don't be the consumer. Well, on the same end, really gotta think about that type of shit. And I feel like people don't on a day to day. You know what I mean? They kind of just live like it's my last day every day. You know what I mean? Where like, I'm not saying you can't, like, once you save some, you know what I mean, or you put some way into an investment or something that brings you some recurring money. Like, yeah, you gonna splurge here, splurge there. But the one thing that I think I really learned is that I got out of being a consumer. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of my friends say like I'm 23, but like I sound like I'm 40 and stuff like that because like I just learned things kind of quickly, and like there was a time where I bought mad stuff. I have times where I had mad jewelry and lost it and broke it. You know what I mean? Spent $3,000 on a bracelet and lost it like I think 4 days later. You know what I mean? Like it showed like all this shit can come and go. You know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, it makes you happy for a moment, like you said earlier. You know what I mean? Like you had the rush going to go get it, and then you got it. Maybe you had the rush for the day, and then the next day you was like, I don't know.
It's just there.
It's just there. You know what I mean? So it was really, I think the one thing that helped me keep my abundance and like my mind straight when it came to finances was really just the understanding that I don't have to have everything. I don't need the latest shoe. I get what I want. You know what I mean? And I don't want everything. You know what I mean? You got to give yourself the work something for it. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't line up with your ultimate goal or whatever your purpose is, like, this is why I say purpose is so important. You know what I mean? If it doesn't line up to what your purpose is, why are you buying it? Every time I buy something, it's a cross list. And sometimes it's just fuck it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I look at something, I'm like, I want it. I mean, as much as I want to sit here and go like, like I don't want to buy it, like I'm gonna buy it. You're gonna have those times, but that's why you work every day consistently. So when you have those vice days, or you're like, bro, I need this, like this, or you ever had a sale before and it was a crazy sale, but it was still kind of expensive?
Yeah.
All the time.
You just far-fetched.
You they're like, damn,
Essence.
this shit could have been
Essence.
3 racks, but
Yeah.
right now it's $750.
Yeah.
And then you like, damn, bro, but like I dead bought them Jordans last week,
Yep.
and those were on sale. Like, you know what I mean? Like that $750 you could accomplish because you held tight through all your other vices. You know what I mean? And you kept consistent, and now you can splurge on the thing you really want, the things you really need. And I feel like I just found more dopamine in finding, like, after doing that for a while, because it wasn't hard, it's conditioning. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing with everything. I don't believe everything is. I think things are simple. Like the highest, what Albert Einstein said, the highest intelligence is simplicity. You know what I mean? So like. It's simple, but all because it's simple don't make it easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's very simple to think about, but it's very complex. We're humans. We're here to make shit complex. Like we have a mind and a conscience. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you gotta just move with who you are. You know what I mean? And that's the big thing. If you know yourself, you're self-aware. That's the big thing. If you're self-aware, like then everything else is easy. You don't have to buy. A lot of people buy shit for other people. Like they buy Jordan. They buy like, oh, I need some Amiri pants, or I need that because they want to look cool for shorty, or they would.
I ain't
My
gonna lie,
homies
them
gonna
Amiris
say
fit
whatever.
different,
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. The fabric of the Amiri is beautiful.
Yo,
No, I'm not
you
gonna
ain't never
lie.
lie. You ain't never lie, man. But I just think like, I don't know, like I was telling you guys before on camera, it's just like, as a business owner now,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of getting out of that mind state of consumerism, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's up to me buying another mic so I can interview Z, or buying these Dior's that I really want, I'm gonna buy the mic, right? Because I know doing this interview was gonna be able to generate me money over time,
Right.
To be able to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 Dior's, right?
Right.
Jay-Z said if you can't buy it twice, you can't
You
afford
can't
it.
afford it.
You get what I'm
That's a fact.
saying? So it's just like you don't want to go get into that kind of mode. I kind of been getting myself out of that. But kind of moving on, like I wanted you to get more in depth about the company. What's the name of the company? What exactly do you guys do and stuff like that?
Right. So my apologies. My agency is ZBJ agency. So what we do is that we help build brands. We're a brand development company.
Okay.
So we take brands, we cultivate them. We're starting to become more of a one-stop shop now. But like before, we just take brands, we cultivate them on the digital side. I have a network of over 137 million now. Follower network through the pages I know, like memes, LMAO, memes are, you probably know that, like records, rap, like things like that.
Oh, yeah, rap is heavy.
Really close friends of mine, as well as I've met a lot of people like Dunk, Gary Vee, things like that. Where I use this network. I use this network to really help other people, let it be an entrepreneur, an influencer, a brand, a small business, a big business, cultivate their message, cultivate their goals or whatever their brand message is in storytelling, and then we take it and we ship it out to all these pages and we create a viral moment, or we create like a consistent basis of content creation so that they have a path in which they're able to bring in a new audience. You know what I mean? The downside of Radio Shack is that Radio Shack didn't know how to go online. Like, didn't understand how to like provide their message that like we sell cheap electronics. As good as that sounds, on the internet, there's a way to storytell that. You know what I mean? Without putting a whole bunch of ads up and things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's where we come in. We create very different ways for you to promote your business, promote your brand, as well as a consistent way for you to grow and have a fan base as well as a customer base. In 2017, I helped about 376 businesses go from 0 to 100K in revenue, just using social. Using social, using Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google AdWords was just really sparking up, and it was a little different than how it is now. And then from there, and as well as just all the networks that you used on my pages for, we just use that to grow an audience, provide content that is replayable. You know what I mean? Easy to be repeatable, and you would say a funnel in a way that if it's a business, they could bring in sales. If it's not a business, then it's a way to bring in music for artists. You know what I mean? There's always a funnel for something, but that's practically what we do. We're just the efficiency part of the funnel.
Okay. Yeah, because I dealt with ClickFunnels before, and like they make it seem so easy and so seamless, but if you really don't know how to work in it to get the right exact funnel, like you're just creating an email list. You're not making any money. Yeah. Right? You get what I'm saying? So.
It's all understanding. That's where we just come in where, like, Instagram makes a whole bunch of changes and things like that. Like, you're not focused on that. You're focused on doing the podcast, guys. You know what I mean? And that's where we come in. We're focused on what's going on Instagram. We're focused on what's going on the just social platforms. And we handle the back end, really, where others can handle the front end. So now you get to focus on doing the podcast, doing your art, doing your music, while all you have to do is post, and you have a team of people behind you making sure that your posts are getting out to where they need to be, and you as a brand is growing every day and every second.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's how you grow. You got basically a company that helps other companies grow organically and make money.
Exactly.
And you make money doing that.
Yeah. Got to pencil yourself some cash in there somehow.
No, man. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of companies that need your assistance. So, like, before I don't know if you know, but my co-host here called Benny Musa. He's an artist, and he has his a whole agency and stuff like that as far as like digital marketing. So that's why it's important. He has a lot of questions for you. So before I let him take over, my last question would be well, not my last question, but the question before he takes over would be, what do you think about the algorithm? Right, I feel like before, when on Instagram per se, not even Facebook, I'm seeing it, right? Yeah. Like before I get 100K. I mean, not 100K, excuse me. 100 people, 150 people, right? Like, I have 700 followers. So, like, let's say if I get 10%, so that's 100 something to get. Viewing your stories, liking your picture, right? I barely get, like, 60 now. Like, I get, like, 60, 70 people to even look at my shit. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And, like, then it's like, oh, you got to buy followers and stuff like that. But then that shit doesn't really work or whatever, because at the end of the day, they're all fake and they're not engaging and stuff like that, so you need engagement. So, like, how would a podcast like ours grow organically? How would you, like, if you were to take us on as a client, how would you help us grow organically on Instagram and the socials? Because I pride myself on trying to be not only sonically but visually, so you see the people that are talking in the mic, right? Of course, yeah. So, and plus it's smart because of the revenue. You get YouTube, you get
it's not even just that, yeah. You're getting people something to look at. It's the same thing with music, you know what I mean? That's why, like the music industry, they always tell you, like, if you're going to do a single, couple it with a video. Right. Like, because you're giving someone, you want someone to, some people can't, everyone's different, some people are visual, some people are audio, some people have to touch, you know what I mean? Things like that. And in the music industry, like, some people really can't digest music unless they're watching the music video. Like, unless they see you rapping it, like, they can't digest your song, or they can't feel it a certain way. I know a lot of friends like that where, like, they might have heard the song on the radio, or they heard it when someone else was playing, but, like, it was when they watched the music video, they were like, I get it now. That's what I do it for, you know what I mean? So, but if I took you guys under my wing for real, like, how I would grow this podcast really is just, like, what episode is this one?
This is episode, I have a 5-part series that I'm doing on the side. Cool. But this will be episode 5.
Cool. 5 episodes. That's cool. All right. So, yeah. I was saying, like, I would definitely have turned a lot of this, because, this is a long talk, you know what I mean? I would have had to go through all this directly and watch all this, and then turn this long form content into, like, bite-sizable, really good, I wouldn't say, like, meme aesthetic, but, like, just digestible, where it's, like, sound-wise is cool. I would tell you guys need to find, like, since you're doing an audio thing, you got to find, like, a catchy sound, something. I don't know. Every time you start the thing, there should be, like, a bell or, like, a swoosh or something. I don't know. You say something. You know what I mean? That, like, when people hear that noise, no matter what setting it is, they hear that noise, they know that it's the balance effect. You know what I mean? And that's how you sonically, create, like, a brand, like, a consistency in people's heads. But I would tell you to do that first. I would create, like, a little bite size, or I would tell you guys to, like, create a little bite size with a message on top. And then from this whole thing, like, pretend you act, how you asked me about my life and stuff like that, right? Maybe we have a segment of that, and we're talking about, like, getting your shit done and, being consistent and things like that. We turn that into a clip. I would then take that clip, you'd post it, we'd share it through our network, so you'd already begin love from our network, which then would bring you to Explore or the hashtags. But on top of that, I would hope we have a budget to then send to some pages that are in the music industry or in this industry and X, Y, and whatever that attunes, like, really the entrepreneur lifestyle would really be, like, where this would really win the most, motivation, stuff like that. But, like, share it to a couple pages like that. They would repost that content and just keeping a consistency thing of that. Having a budget, you guys creating a relationship, because it's not just about us. We're all about you guys creating a relationship, because, like I said, a relationship ends. You know what I mean? Yeah. So on top of us doing the work, we're also doing the work in your account for a reason. We're doing the work in your account because we want you to have these relationships with these people. Like, after maybe you get to 300,000 followers, now you're gaining 30,000 followers on your own or whatever every month. You don't need us. You know what I mean? Like, you still have these relationships. You can keep up the work that we were doing. You know what I mean? And it's less work for you because now you have something automated. Hopefully by episode 40, you are, like, 6 episodes ahead. You know what I mean? Like, so you'll be able to handle yourself. But, like, from there, that's really how you grow organically. People think being viral is having one big moment, and then that's it. And that's why we have all these people who have one fucking big moment, and then they're cool for a couple months. They're hot. And then a year later, you're like, where the fuck did this person go? Or why are you a fucking backup dancer all of a sudden? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it's because there's no consistency. And look at the people who are winning. I am Desi Banks. Oh, you know what I mean? You look at Haha Davis, which I think, I forgot that girl. She was funny too, but, like, practically, they're consistent. They're dropping content every other day. Every 2-3 days, you know what I mean? They're doing shows, they're doing lives, like, they're keeping people interested, you know what I mean? Like, the one thing, like, I agree, another thing that I think with Gary is great, you know what I mean, is, like, you want to make your shit episodic in people's lives. Like, you as a kid, you used to jump on the couch, fucking Hot 97 was on, Hot 97, 106 in Park would come on the TV, you'd tell mom or whatever, you knew to be on the couch at 6 o'clock, that was your day, you knew, like, you at 6, I'm on the couch, I'm watching this. You want that same excitement for your brand. You want people to be like, Balance Effect coming on at 5 p.m. They've been doing this every Tuesday. I'm here in my seat. Don't bother me. I'm watching this or I'm listening to this. You know what I mean? Or you want to become a routine in people's day. So that's why I always believe having consistent content is going to be cool. Because think about it. Even a new fan that joins, pretend they, like, start at 5, right? Now they can go back and go, like, cool, 5 was fire. Let me check 4 out. And then, cool, maybe I don't like 4. Let me check 3 out. All right, I kind of like 3, but I don't like 2 and 1. And now you're like, damn, I like 2 videos. Maybe I might like the third one. Like, and then, but when you get to a point of, like, 40 videos, you know what I mean? It's a library. So now people get to pick and choose. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of. You ever seen the YouTube What If?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never actually got.
Yeah, so What If is, like, this channel that talks about a whole bunch of, like, what if situations. But how they really blew up for real is just consistency. Like, literally, like, they were just posting 3-4 what if videos a day. You might not like 4 of them, but you like 1 of them.
I've actually seen that. Yeah, the what if series. Yeah.
You gonna watch one of them or 2 of them? It's just a fact.
And then you get looped into it, and you're watching like 4 or 5. Of them.
Yep. And then you're just like, oh man, I didn't know they had all this cool shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then but you don't know that you're also, like, in your brain throwing away half the shit they probably spent mad time trying to make. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with you. There's gonna be episodes that no one gives a fuck about, but that's okay. Because someone's gonna give a fuck about it. You know what I mean? And there's gonna be people, and there's gonna be episodes that everyone gives a shit about. But you gotta give yourself the ability to do that. And then on top of that, like you said, because you asked me also about the algorithm. I agree with you. And the algorithm's complete shit right now. But you also gotta understand, like, the time we're in, like the election, again.
Yeah.
Facebook got fucked the last election, as you remember, like the Cambridge Analytica thing started and all that. So like they got to lock down. Like if they ran into the same problem as that, there would be no more social. So you know what I mean? Like you gotta like play with the devil the way it is. You know what I mean? So I think that the algorithm definitely poop, but that's where like it's more important to collab, more important to share. My biggest thing is like collaboration. So you're gonna be I don't care if you are on another podcast. You feel me? Like talking about your podcast. Like you feel me? Like that'd be fire now I think about it. Like you guys should do that. Like have a co-podcast with like another similar podcast. Fire. Make sure they have like maybe a little bigger audience or like around the same. But like that'd be cool. You know what I mean? Different shit like that. Where like you guys are talking about the struggles of having a podcast. Like that doesn't happen often. But it's collaborations in the weirdest ways. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have a podcast and you see how you're bringing me in and I'm bringing all this information, I don't know. You can have a clown in here and talk about how important it is for him to be a clown and like what made him do all that stuff. You wanna know why? Because there's gonna be a kid somewhere who is on the internet because the internet's worldwide. It's not based here. You know what I mean? And you maybe posted on YouTube and he's gonna give a shit about the clown, and he might be your like best fan over a clown video. I've seen people fucking literally blow up off of like opening Pokemon cards. Like one of my best friends is like lately has 70,000 subscribers on YouTube right now over 2 videos opening Pokemon cards. He didn't know it was gonna happen. So a whole bunch of little 5-year-olds was like, "That man opened up a whole bunch of fucking Pokemon cards," and it blew up. But like it doesn't happen every day. Like the Lil Yachty effect that like I just blew up overnight, and he didn't really blow up overnight. But like that little effect that like your shit's just gonna blow up doesn't happen unless you give someone a catalog. You know what I mean? Because XXX's song, just to make it music related, right? The song that blew him up, like Look At Me, they came out 6 months before it blew up. Mm-hmm. That shit was nothing. Yeah. For 6 months, no one gave a shit about that song. Like until a whole bunch of little kids on Twitter, one little kid made a meme about it with the song in the background, and that led to the whole shit it got to. You know what I mean? Everyone using it, and you know what I mean? So it's creating a moment, and XXX had a catalog by that. You know what I mean? He had mad songs, so like people were able to do that and go like, "Oh, there's more shit like this," like, and then go through a catalog, and that's what he's able to blow up. You get a fan base that way. But like as a fan, you know what I mean? Like if I saw like this, right, and there's only 3 episodes, like now I gotta like kind of like hope that this gets good. You know what I mean? I'm at the beginning, and you have some people like that who will believe in you. But like I tell my friends, like when you start something, for the first 2 years, I don't think you should really give a shit about what anyone thinks about what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, no one really is going to give a shit about what you're doing. People are weird. It sucks, but like people are weird where like they look at small achievements and they need to see the accolade sometimes. That's why a blue check means so much to people. You know what I mean? They need to see the accolade for shit to happen. Like for them in their mind to go like, cool. Like, I trust that dude. Like, he's reliable. You know how many times I've met people who's like, bro, like, I trust, like, I've literally met a client of mine who trusted me to sit in his, like, he had, like, a fucking, like, what was it? It wasn't it was. It was, like, a Rolls Royce Phantom. Just left the keys inside. Whatever, bro. He was on a news article. What the fuck does that mean? I can still take your car and bounce. Like, what are you talking about? But, like, that really shows you, like, that man in his head went, like, that man was on a news article, and he immediately trusted me. Like, just like that was, and that's where reputation and all that grows. You know what I mean? Things like that. But like it shows that that's what it's all about. Reputation, accolades. From there on, and like I'm not that type of dude. I don't like. That's why a lot of my stuff, like, I stayed in the shadows for till like a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like I was never that type of dude of like, I need y'all to know. Yo, shout me out. Like who I'm with. Like shout me out on Instagram. Like I need people to know it's me. Like I'm not that type of dude, which also has hurt me in the long run. You know what I mean? It's a perfect balance of both. Like, you don't want everyone knowing what you're doing, but you want people to know about the great things you're doing. You know what I mean? So.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm going to let Kwam take over with the music stuff, because I know you're doing your thing in music too, man.
What's up, man?
I haven't seen your songs, man. You got to send me some.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I'll tell you what, these days, I've kind of stepped back as being an artist to focus on, you know, business and putting myself together as a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting that you are somewhat doing it in reverse of how I did it. Because when I was like 21, 22, it was like, man, we about to hit the block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We about to, you know, get the studio money and do what we do. But let me ask you, what made you get into music in the first place?
I actually had like music all my life. Like my uncle's Andre Betts. He did like Madonna stuff, all that cool stuff.
That's
So I
major.
kind of grew up in the studio all my life, but like, believe it or not, made me hate music for a while. Not gonna cap. Like, you know what I mean?
I see
My
that.
family was very forceful. Like when it came, like my dad used to send me there every weekend to like learn how to make beats. Ended up hating that shit. Was like, that's not what I want to be here for. From there, it turned into like, it took me a whole bunch of time really, and then I used to see my cousins. They had like a band called George Puke, and then I had my other cousin Dasan, who used to make like he makes like really trippy music. He went to isn't that Dartmouth? I think it is Dartmouth College.
The one, it's in Boston.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think Berkeley.
Nah, man. It's a music school.
Music?
Yeah, dude.
I think it's Berkeley. If you're talking about Boston, it's definitely Berkeley.
I don't know. I just know he
Yeah.
went to a music school, and just seeing them work on music and seeing that for them, like, you know, growing up as well, like, it was never about the money, or it was never really about making music. It was like an expression of self.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was an expression, they'd have a long day of school and then go home, and if they need to go into the garage and scream and strum their guitars till like they feel like they got it out, that's what they did. So like that's kind of like what made me get into music. Like I was like 18, I bought like a set with my birthday money at the time, and I was just like, man, like I'm just gonna like just freestyle and let it my whole shit out into this mic and see what happens. And like my first couple songs were trash.
It always is like that. It's
Complete
always like
trash.
that,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie to you, complete trash. And then it took a lot of time, took years. But it's for me, I don't look at music as like something I really want to do. Like it's a hobby for me. I tell my friends that shit all the time. Like even with the plays I get now and all that stuff, like it's a hobby. Like,
Right.
until someone, and I used to joke around like until someone invests in me, it stays a hobby. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter how much I blow up over it, no matter how famous I get. And that's really what it was about. Was like for me, it's an expression of myself. You know what I mean? I used it when I was going through the hardest times of my life. I was like singing to the mic and all this other stuff and like whatever it may be, and I felt like relieved. Like you know, like, I couldn't invent this to certain people. You know, there's some things you just don't say to people.
You can't say
know
it.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
So
gotta put it on the music.
you just put it into music. Yeah.
Yeah. So, very interesting. Have you? I know you're using. I'm going to assume that you're using your skills that you developed outside of music and applying it to your craft. Is that?
I mean, kinda. See, like I told you before, and this is where I slack as a human being. You know what I mean? Like I don't like being out like in the limelight as well. As like I don't want it to be manufactured. You know what I mean? I know I can manufacture it. Like you know what I mean? It's just easier for me to do. But like,
Right.
I want to grow it organically in a way that like people just find me. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like I said, it's not my passion. If it was my
Right.
passion,
Right.
then maybe I would push it like my agency. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like dumping like money into it. I just started investing into my music for real.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because before, like I said, it wasn't my passion. It's just my business, my passion. That's what I did every day, and that's what I love doing. And the music is just more of like a let out. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, the answer to that was just like, nah, I'm really not. But like the strategies is there, and that's what I'm saying, like kinda. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't forget the strategies, and that's kind of like how I apply it into my own path. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's why I said before, just to regurgitate, like I believe it's all about the knowledge you obtain, and you push it into your own direction. So you know, I have my own ideas, my own dreams, my own like vision of how I want this to happen, and I know by me just pushing it the way that I would push another client might not be exactly what I want.
The best way. Yeah. That's so interesting. Because you would assume that like that's
Yeah.
exactly what happens. You know what I mean? For me, it was gonna lead to the next question. Do you actually consider yourself like a musician for real? Being that you have the business that you have and you started there,
Right.
Because I know for me that's like the challenge. It's like, well, I mean, I can make music, but I feel like there has to be more. You know?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm a big advocate that you could just be wherever the fuck you want.
Just doing what you want, yeah.
Like, if I had to, like, put everything I have done or did or want to do into a list of things, I think it'd be very long. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think you should ever really hold yourself. Because you're holding yourself in a box if you do that. Like, am I a musician? I guess.
Yeah.
I know how to play piano.
But
You know what I mean? Like, on the same end, like, it's freeing to just know that you can do whatever the fuck you want, really. You could be a musician today. You could spend 3 years right now and, like, become the biggest artist. And then 3 years later, become, like, the biggest person to sell, like, mattresses. It's fine. Like,
Yep.
it's whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, does that stop you from being a musician now that you sell mattresses? You still did the whole musician thing. So you're still a musician.
Yeah.
You can always pick up the guitar again or pick up whatever, you know, your instrument is.
yeah.
But Yeah, so I mean, I guess I see myself as a musician, but like that's not the only thing I do. You know what I mean? I don't think that really matters. Be what you want.
How do you feel about the climate of music now?
Like, I think that it's refreshingly toxic. Like,
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah,
you know, like it's very like I feel like I listen out of any time in my life I can find an artist practically doing anything.
yeah,
There's something for somebody somewhere, everywhere. Well, on the same end, there's so much of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it is good. And then on top of that, you can't even tell if people really like it or not anymore. Trolls have now won this game. And like everything's shit on the internet. Like every video you can find someone going like, this is a piece of shit. Things like that. You know what I mean? So I believe that it's I think it's about to be a change in the music industry. And I think that's really the climate right now. Is everyone's pivoting, doesn't know what to do. So it's like wildfire right now.
Right.
You can blow up as an artist, and you can lose as an artist today. YBN Namir is the biggest person to look at right now. Like that man blew up, and then like I think his latest video got like 15. Like I think the audio only has like 15,000 streams in like a week.
Why do you think that is? Like, could it just boil down to consistency, or is it like I'm gonna get real conspiracy theory on you? So
Yeah.
do you feel like in the music game, and the reason why I'm asking you this in particular is because you deal with marketing, and at the same time you dabble in being an artist.
Right.
Do you feel like the trends and everything that's going on now, do you feel like that's an accident, or do you feel like it's more at play? Yeah.
It's a hard question to answer without getting myself in trouble, just in case someone sees this. It's a mixture.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of things that happen on the internet that are like straight accident and blow up, and then there's definitely things that are put at play because people just know what they're doing.
Right.
And if you got the right connections with the right people and you know a lot of people, you can make a lot of things happen. So I think it's a mixture.
Okay. Just to bring it back to your business, how do you feel like an artist would be able to use your platform to excel?
I mean, when it comes to my business and just artists, I think like those are one of the best people we work with. Like we have a lot of artists. It's one of the most common clients we have, that and influencers, because of just the fact that what is making music? Like, well, how do you make more money in music? Is building an audience, building a place of people who give a shit. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, with my agency, I feel like why we have so much success is because of the fact that we are not just building followers just because they care about like a moment. A lot of people do that. Like the baby, a lot of his followers first came because he was going into shootouts and stuff like that, and like tough and stuff.
Right.
Which then played into his character, which was smart as hell. Like, you know what I mean. But there's a lot of people who start marketing that way, and it just doesn't end right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's because I think it's like creative marketing, and as a music artist would love not just be acquiring an audience that's gonna listen to their music consistently. On top of that, they'll be able to use our network to then reach new people and get into playlisting, because we have a playlist network, all this type of things, you know what I mean? News, you get on publications, all those type of things. We're, like I said, we're a one-stop shop. At least we're becoming, but I would like to say now, we're really like a one-stop shop when it comes to the PR, digital, like everything. You know what I mean? As long as you got the budget to do so, like, we can put you on and almost any magazine now, as well as just what we have all the audiences from all the other past. I'm not sure if you know how Facebook ads work and like Google ads work and things like that. Like if you have a pixel on there, or you have custom audiences, or I have a custom audience from all of these campaigns I just finished telling you about, like with all these different people. So, it's easier for me to run ads. It's easier for me to do the same thing repetitiously, but find a different template for it. And that's exactly what I would just do with an artist, because everything's repetitious, bro. We've seen the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Just a different artist doing it, finding a different way to play on it. You know what I mean? And that's all. And that's like who is it? Polo G. I think it's Polo G did the Martin Gina thing.
That was fire. Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean?
That.
Like that's. But we've also seen mad people do different.
that.
Like, why was that super fire compared to all the things that other people? Because we see the same shit. You know what I mean? It's just it's a different template. You add different people to it, and it becomes brand new again.
But I would also say with that particular case study that they did that to the T. I've never seen anybody execute it like that.
I agree.
You
And
know?
I agree. And that's that's the beautiful thing is that some people can exceed the other. And that's what I'm saying. Like but it's the same template at the end of the day.
Right,
he
right,
just did it very well.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
You
And
know
it's,
what I mean?
and it's the precious as well. So that, I see what you're saying.
He just did it very well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
What, as an artist, and I'm sure we have to move on to the next segment, right?
Yeah,
Wilson?
it's a good conversation. I like it so much. Man. Go ahead, rock out.
I see, like, so when I was sort of doing my light research, I seen that SoundCloud was very instrumental in how you would market artists. It's kind of a two-part question. A, do you feel like SoundCloud is still as prevalent as it was before, instrumental in building an artist, followers? And also, if not SoundCloud, what is the next frontier, in your opinion?
I feel like SoundCloud, I think it really depends on the artist. Like, what is the artist's situation? Some artists like aren't, no one knows who they are, but they got like a good budget. You know what I mean? So they can work on cultivating an audience and like people giving a shit, really, and then focus on like the plays and like bring the main attention. Where like I have a lot of artists that they're paying out of their checks to really do what they're doing.
Right.
So I'd say Spotify is really now the biggest frontier when it comes to promoting an artist. Why? Because Spotify is the biggest DSP out right now, with the most playlists, the most discoverability, as well as they have an algorithm that creates 11 playlists like automatically based on that person's like listen. So imagine you have like 15 loyal fans. You know what I mean? It's not like SoundCloud where like you just a fan. Like now Spotify will make playlists with your song in it to get you more plays. You know what I mean? Like and things like that. And as well as like editorials. The more you do well on it, so like I've had a lot of artists like Way McDonald, as well as like my Proof Boy Icy as well. Where they got a certain amount of plays on the song, and then Spotify put them on editorials. Like you know what I mean? Like put them on like Rap Caviar. It might be at the bottom, but like a bottom also brings you like 40,000 plays. In a week or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's really the biggest instrument. SoundCloud's cool for building an audience, but profit's not really there. Like they pay 0.000, like a very small amount. Let's just say that. And then Spotify, 100,000 plays brings you about like, if it's top ranked countries and everything, like it's like $400. So I mean, like when you scale it out, you get a lot of your money back. You know what I mean? In royalties, as well as you're helping your algorithm. So like you're meeting an audience. You know what I mean? So it's really dependent on what the artist wants. But I really believe that Spotify is great for building a fund and an audience. The audience part might come a little slower, but at least you have foundation of funds where you can be consistent. And then SoundCloud's more of a place where you could build like an audience where you could be like the underground king if you really wanted to. And then there's places to blow up. Like SoundCloud has also just like thrown my songs like randomly into like Fresh Press and stuff like that. So like it's a mixture. You know what I mean? I believe all platforms where you should really go off on. But Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud are the best to cultivate audience. Tidal pays you the most, if you didn't know.
Last question, I promise. I think this is probably going to be the most important question as far as like an artist's point of view goes.
Right.
Just came from the studio. Just finished that track. You got to put it out. Artwork ready. Music video ready. Cool. So how do I get it from 0 plays to my first 100,000 plays?
Cool. Organically, right?
Yes.
Cool. So it's gonna be a lot of work on your front. I'm not gonna lie. If you're gonna do it with the money, it really is going into communities. Like when I was first building my fan page, like my music shit, like I was going into like I was on Twitter and the music tab and things like that, and you could see a whole bunch of them of people like, hey bro, like we sharing music over here on the Discord, come join the Discord, you know what I mean, things like that. And you gotta really, some of my fans, a lot of the people, that's why I don't really like calling them fans. Like you see, I'm not sure if you watch my story, like I call them like my stars, stuff like that, like we all stars, stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, bro, cause I don't really look at people as a fan, cause most of the people who listen to my music, like I listen to your music, or like we met like on a peer-to-peer ratio, so how are you a fan of me? You know what I mean, like, so.
No, that's a good point.
That's really it. Like, it's connections. You know what I mean? Because guess what? You could meet one dude and he show it to 20 of his homies. You be playing in the car like 13 times a day, and you never know what homie in the car who could show it to another homie. You know what I mean? And that's how shit blows up. You know what I mean? But it's that connection. You want to get your shit played. You want someone who's gonna be dedicated as much as you are. So like, I would say is join these communities, find creative ways to show people your music, which is and hashtags. You gotta whatever platform you're on, find whatever ways how you reach out to the public. There's different tech too. Like people don't know. Like I would look up like if you're trying to get into TikTok, go like TikTok tools. People don't know about that. Little like whatever tools, and you can find mad tools like where you can find out how many followers, like what does this do, and you can like assess your page a little better than what they give you. But like it's really about that and damn, I lost what I was saying.
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. I think if you want 100,000 players, you gotta talk to 100,000 people.
I'm sorry, or you going or half of that. Not even half of it, or 1/3 of that at least. But you gotta think about it. Like 1/3 is even a lot. Like talking to 100 people. Like some people don't talk to fucking 20 people in like a year.
No, it's true.
So like you gotta really put yourself out there. And a lot of people are introverts. Like I'm an introvert myself, and I'm a big fan of like I'm cool doing podcast stuff like that. I got used to that. I used to be like nervous as fuck doing shit like this. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to mess up or like you know what I mean. I always conscious about what I'm saying, things like that. But that's the thing is getting past that barrier. Going like my shit is good enough for you to listen, even if maybe if it's not good enough for you to listen. But like that's why I always I always go for like if a rapper's super confident about shit, like I really hope his shit's nice. But like I respect it. Like you're supposed to have the confidence for your shit. Down to your business, down to this podcast. Like you could you could have one camera on a shabby camera. I mean a shabby light. But you shouldn't let no one talk shit about your damn podcast. Like, it's the best podcast ever that you worked on. I'm a big advocate of it, and Jordan, Jordan's a big is where I learned that from. Really, he cared about winning so much he didn't give a fuck about his team liking him. Like he was like, bro, I don't care if you don't like me. Like you know what I want. Like, and I care about it. And if you care about me as a person, you understand that I'm not doing this, or I'm not acting this way to be naive or ignorant. It's because I passionately give a shit about this and I don't play no games when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And I feel that's the same way people should take with their music. If you really want a fan base, a lot of people talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I want 100,000 plays. But what if I gave you 100,000 fans right now? Like,
what would you do?
What would you do? Probably lose them all. Like, you got to learn how to cultivate your brand. And in that journey, you'll learn what your fans love and you know what you love giving your fans.
Right.
And that's the big thing, Look at all the artists that are out and stayed relevant. Look at a Uzi. Look at a 21 Savage who could be fucking mute for a year and then come back and drop a crazy album. It's because he's created a brand. He's created such a personality in his brand that his fans understand who he is. Same thing with Playboy Carter. You know what I mean? Right. He has created such a personality and brand around his music that like. He has people deciphering messages, fucking pictures and shit like that, because that is the brand he built. He built himself being a quiet, you gotta find what you're doing, things like that. You know what I mean? Because that's what he attunes to. You know what I mean? That's probably what he's really good at. You know what I mean? Maybe he focuses 100% on the music. You know what I mean? He might be an 89% music dude, and social don't mean shit to him, and that's why he does what he does there. There's always a contingency to why there's a plan and what it is. Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion is really the best one, I think, example of that shit, where, like, to me, I think she had the best marketing blowing up as an artist. Right. Bro, she was she was like 4 different personalities. Yeah, have you noticed that shit disappeared? Yeah. They're just not here no more. Else, yeah. No one gives a fuck about those 4 personalities no more. Right. No one gives a shit about that. But when it was blowing up, it was the biggest marketing strategy ever. Guess what? You had where she was the icy version. Yep. That was like the anime, Like that was the diamonds, And then she had like the nerd version that was like the anime. So think about it. She's attuned into all these anime communities, these like weebs and waifus and all these type of people. Then she has like the hot girl summer shit. So she getting all the ratchets, all the people, who like to shake their ass and XY, the strippers, everybody, into her on that way. And then she also, she got the nasty conversation as well, with Drive the Boat. So she's getting all those people who listen to that type of music. Bro, she created like a trifecta of like 3 different communities melting pot into one. So now everyone has a relatability factor to Megan. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about the music no more. Well, she watches My Hero Academia, so I fuck with her. Like, she only for the rapper watch anime and exploit it. I fuck with her. Like, you know what I mean? And she knows how to thoroughly break it down. Like, for real. Like, that's really how people look at things. People love the shit they relate to. Like, someone's gonna love this shit because they're gonna feel like they can. Oh, I can sit on my couch and do this shit. talk to the name. Like that's gonna be the real shit. That, or they're gonna be like, oh, bro, this is gonna inspire them. Something gonna be relatable about this whole episode that's gonna bring them to the next level. And that's what you want in your content. You want to just be able to speak your truth and know that your truth was enough to impact somebody else, musically, audioly, visually, whatever it is.
Right. It's all about impacting and
storytelling.
Yeah, story. I mean, that's what I like. I mean, I like telling stories. That's what we were doing initially. Like the first episode, we talked about just introduction of how we kind of how I came up with the idea, just the balance effect of going into this quarantine and everything in life has to have a balance and I originally started off with something else. You know what I mean? I was trying to market a completely different brand, right? But then I'm like, I was actually trying to create an app, and then when I noticed how expensive the app was going to cost me, I was like, I think the safer bet is to go the podcast route, right? And then I started talking to other guys, and they were like, yo, if I would have done it differently, I would have built the brand first, and then build the podcast, because then the podcast enhances the brand that you're building, right? But I tend to do things backwards and do it my way. And
bro,
like
it's
that.
Not backwards though. That's what I say. You just did it your own way, bro. And then think about it. You going like, damn, you wish you brought the brand first, but if you didn't do the podcast, you wouldn't have the brand. So now look at you. Now you have a brand. The balance effect. You feel me? So like, now it's up to you. You could either like focus on the brand or focus on the podcast. It's up to you to make that pivot. You can change any day, any time, bro. Mm-hmm. Life moves on. That's all I'm saying, bro. With or without, only your decision. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really up to you, man. And I don't think, like I said, bro, that's why I keep saying, like, I don't think anything's wrong with that shit. Like, you move the way you move. Like, you never know. You like you say, oh man, that's the wrong shit. But like, what if this blows up and like now you have a successful podcast and that shit wasn't wrong. You did it right.
Well, I hope it is, man. I'm looking for you to help us out with that, man. Like, of course. That was the thing about it. Like, it kind of meshed completely. Like, it would kind of gelled. It was organic, right? As you like to put it, right? As far as having you on, like, you were one of the. Actually, you are the first official guest that we had as a collective, as a podcast, because while we're building his brand and building my brand and building obviously my other co-host, she's not here right now. She's a fitness super. Nice. I'll definitely shoot her your Instagram and stuff like that. But it's just being able to have a collective and build dope content, right? And just use our intellectual property, right? My experience is always going to be different from yours, from his, from everybody's. Like, we all have different experiences, but, as a collective, we come together and just build dope stuff, and we were actually talking about the Charlemagne the God thing, like how you, built this network called Black Effect and pulling back, black podcasts and telling stories and stuff like that. And I feel like that's dope, right? But I want to do everything. I want to do boss moves, right? I don't want to be a worker, right? I want to be able to invest in my own shit and make it my own, right? I want to be an investor, an owner, part owner, ownership. Anything that has to do with ownership. I don't want to have to leverage my following, my IP, anything to being able to get something else, right? That's the only thing. Like, I want to be able to just build something from the ground up, and that's kind of what we pride ourselves as, as a collective when we kind of joined and made this thing, right? But yeah, just lastly, my last question to you would be just like, how important is branding, like, now, right? Like one of the memes that I see is, especially a lot of the entrepreneur pages that I see, it's like you have, like, let's say a cup of coffee, or you have a lighter, and on the one of it's blank, right? And then it has Starbucks, or then you have a lighter, and one lighter is blank. Then you have Nike, it'll be Nike $90. Then it'll be Apple $120. Then it'll be Gucci or Louis, and it'll be $1,000, right? So it's like, how important is branding and knowing your true value of it? Because there's a difference, right? Right. There's obviously a difference. Like, it's Nike. Not saying that Nike's less than Louis, but their price points are different, right? They cater to a different audience. They always say something about, like, you always gonna see Toyota making commercials, but have you ever seen a Rolls Royce commercial? Have you ever seen a Rolex commercial?
I feel you. I mean, I have seen a Rolex commercial. Now those are coming out. So but the thing is that dude, like branding's super important. Let's just get that out the way. But like, when you look at Apple, right, or you look at like Microsoft, or not really, like, I wouldn't really say those. Now they're really marketing their stuff. I'll say, like, all right, so let's go Nike, right? Most commercials aren't about the product. It's about the athlete. It's about the message. Mm-hmm. It's all about storytelling. Like, we fall in love, like Gucci. Why is it expensive? It's not because of the quality of the clothes. It's because it's from Italy, and there's a long story behind it. people take their time. Like Rolex, people don't buy a Rolex because now because it's just it's a trend. So you know what I mean, it's a nice watch. But like before, there was a story behind it. You know, every Rolex is made by a guy. It takes like a year and a half out of his life to make it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole story behind Rolex that makes that watch worth what it is. You know what I mean? Same thing. Why like an Audemars Piguet is a little bit more than a Rolex because that guy had to spend more time on that watch and he put more complications into that watch.
Can you pronounce that again? Because I don't pronounce. I call it Audemars Piguet. Like how do you pronounce that again?
Audemars Piguet.
Oh, okay,
Piguet.
cool. See, that's rich nigga shit. I don't know nothing about that.
Audemars Piguet.
Yo.
Yeah, but like. You know, it's because it's more. You know what I mean? A Richard Mille. Why is Richard Mille's cost so much, bro? Because it has it's the watch with one of the most complications in the world. Like, people don't even know that. You know what I mean? But, like, that's why it's so expensive. You know what I mean? There's a story behind it. You know what I mean? Behind the trend and all that type of stuff. As well as just with branding. Like, everything values in price because of the storytelling. Like, you can buy a TCL 4K television that might just be just as good as the Samsung TV. But guess what? Samsung's going to be more expensive because Samsung.
Right.
Just what it is. So that's why knowing your worth is really based on you. Everything at Nike didn't start off at the price it's at. There wasn't. If you go to when Nike first started or like the first couple years of Nike being out, there weren't shoes that were fucking like $500, $400. Everything was $100. Nike Air Forces was like $100 something. Like, you know what I mean?
Less
Like,
than that,
before that, it used to be like 40. Remember, it was like 40, 50 at a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's not 100, but like. You know what I mean? Everywhere starts from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really it. It's the storytelling. The more people you get to believe in your story, the higher you can increase your prices. Especially if you are heightening the luxury.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, the moment that you get enough, like, consistent income for this, and then you move this into a bigger studio with crazy lights and maybe, like, a fucking fountain behind you and some cool, like, it looks like you're in the studio and, like, some beers and you got some sponsors now. You go have niggas who want to go pay $700 to sit in this chair. Like, $800. You could start telling them like $1,000. You have $1,000 a person. Because why? Now you have an ambiance. You know that you have an audience of people who are going to like receive you. Let them know. Let it be positive or negative. You have shit to make your price point go up, and you have a storytelling method. You really like. Your story is what it is, and on top of that, people know that, so that's why they fuck with you. And your storytelling is what's gonna bring because you're doing a podcast is what's gonna make that person shine. Because the fact that people who are watching you probably believe in whatever you guys are believing in the things you guys are talking to, or they wouldn't consistently watch you. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna trust the people you bring in, unless you're opposing them. You know there's gonna be an argumentative thing. Like the people you bring in are like-minded as well, or around the same atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So it's really why branding is so important, because if it's around the same atmosphere, you're letting that person shine. Like you see, if I'm sitting here, we have this atmosphere, like you're letting me shine. You're letting me tell my story. You're letting me like really let people get to know me. In one aspect, they're getting to know you and seeing how you guys do podcasts, and they evolve with you. Especially if the people that you're gaining now, who are gonna see you a year from now, they're gonna love you, bro. They watch you for a whole year. You know what I mean? That's what's important. Now you're in their lives. They got stories like, bro, I was with my shorty and I was watching this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. You want to impact people's lives, like I said, and it's in increments.
You know, the whole point is to impact people, man. Like, just, well, like the thing that we try to do here is just like, you know, change people's narrative. I find like people, especially people of color, like I know for sure, you know, your parents, even though you come from a musical background, they were telling you to go to school, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, pushing that narrative of, you know, go to school, and you know, go this worker, be the worker bee, right? Route, right?
Bro, I think that's just sorry to cut you off, but like, it's just the mantle of parenting. I think like that's all kids need to understand. Is like it's the mantle of parenting. This is like one thing. Like, and me and my parents didn't have the best relationship until like recently, really, like the last 2 years, because of the fact that like I feel like they never understood. Like I quickly understood. I forgot my parents like for mad long, but like it just. I feel like they didn't understand. I was at a point where, like, I'm not going to surround myself around the negativity if I don't have to be around it. And then second, like, I feel like they didn't understand that I had this. You know what I mean? As a parent, you only want what's best for your kid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why that's the mantle of parenting. Their parents was like a piece of shit. I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not going to say that. But, like, everyone didn't like their parents. You know what I mean? Their parents were doing some shit that they didn't like. It was like, I'm not going to do that to my kid. But I'm a kind of, but they were born with shit. So, they, like, they were raised with shit. So, they're going to bring that to you. Mm-hmm. And then that might have worked to raise them. Mm-hmm. But, we're a whole different generation. You know what I mean? So, that mantle is brought down to you, and you have to break that mantle. Because guess what? The shit that you're like, oh, X, Y, and Z, you're going to be raising your kid in the mantle of your parents. Ooh, like no matter how you, because even if you choose to do the opposite shit, guess what? You chose to do the opposite shit because you saw your parents do the shit that you didn't like. You know what I mean? So it's breaking out of that mantle and understanding and getting your parents to understand that you got this. Because once my parents understood they got, and we've had multiple conversations like this. You know what I mean? Like once we understood, we got to a conversation where like they understood I had this. Like you don't have to. There is no. My mom's funniest thing all the time is like she always says to me like, you better be saving money for the hiccup. What hiccup? You know what I mean? Like, it's showing your parents, like, there is no hiccup. Like, I got this. There's nothing to worry about. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, bro.
But, there is no hiccup to worry about. You know, I have this. I can handle it. As a parent, that's the only thing they're worried about. That's why they're on your butt. That's why they want you to go to school. Because that's the only thing they're thinking about is, like, I want my kid to be successful. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I can vision my success for my kid.
But that's why, like, when I started this podcast and I told him to come on, I told Benny and I told Suki to come on, was because, you know, I wanted to break that mold. Like, that stereotype of, like, you know, that conformity of, you know, you need to be the worker, you need to be this, you got to do that. This is the only way to do things, right? And I feel like at times you end up hindering the children because, like, when my parents were growing up, I'm pretty sure when your parents were growing up, there wasn't, of course, when your parents were growing up, there was no social media.
Yeah, of course not.
Right? Yeah. So you don't have all these people.
They'd have been crazy. I'm just going to put that out there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no social media. They were doing way worse shit than what we're doing now, right? But since we have cameras and we have social media, a lot of this stuff is, you know, shedding light on a lot of that, right? So what happens is that you end up coming to the point where, like, even kids younger than us, right? You're like, you see Meek Mill. You see all these people driving Phantoms, Rolls Royces, fucking all these type of different chicks, exotic joints or whatever. They want to do that too. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that being a school teacher or being you're not gonna do that. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being straight up with you.
You can.
Why you gotta shit on the school?
Because I am one, bro. That's why. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel that if you live in it, I guess for real. Like,
you know what I mean? So it's you know, you're not gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like, you know, you end up doing certain shit just to live a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You look at all that stuff that's going on, and you just like, damn, bro, it's crazy.
But see, this is what I also want to touch on that, like how you said the teacher thing. Like, I feel that, like, but they're all teachers who could do that, cause like you gotta think about it. It's all about your vices, and I've learned this, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my dad makes a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I saw, like, bro, there's people who make millions, bro, just not happy. No, like their life is not even that bad, bro. I'm talking about like business is not bad, just like, but their personal life is just trash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they built something and thought that was their purpose, but it's not their purpose anymore. X, Y, and Z, and like they're just not happy. And then I know people who make fucking like $120,000 a year, or like $80,000 a year, to be real with you, and like they're happy as a bee. You know what I mean? Driving a Corvette or something like that. But it's also, it's just not, like I said before, it's suppression. It's the lack of knowledge. Like the lack of, like, schools don't tell you that, like, especially now, that like banks only give you 0.02% return on your money, and the stock market brings you 3%.
1%.
Yeah, the most 1%, but you're not getting that nowadays.
Yeah,
and then the stock market can bring you a minimum of 3%. Apple went up by 1,046% this year. Imagine if the money you saved in your bank account, if you saved it in Apple, you'd have 1,026% of your money right now.
Right.
Maybe if you did that for 4 or 5 years, you'd be a teacher and still be able to buy a Corvette or a Lamborghini, or still be fucking a whole bunch of bitches, because you not just are you getting your check from your teacher shit, but now you make better investments in your life.
And
if you
this
do that.
is why we strive on entrepreneurship, my brother.
Well,
diversifying yourself.
It's information though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's big information. It's big information. Yeah. Because like I said, bro, you can live. You don't even gotta be an entrepreneur. That's why I try to like tell my friends. I think that's the biggest misconception, is that people think they gotta be an entrepreneur to like live a good life, or to be financially free, bro. I know people with jobs who fucking make millions of dollars, like regular ass jobs. I'm talking about regular ass jobs though, like regular ass job. Not an entrepreneur, just knows how to put their money in the right places. Like, doesn't go and buy a pair of Jordans and like maybe buys a piece of a stock. Or I know a kid who literally, like I told you, who literally buys cards. He doesn't even save money. He, like, his bank account, how he looks at it, he has a whole bunch of rare cards in his closet that are worth like $200,000, and that's his bank account. He can be like, I'm just gonna sell a card today, or I'm gonna sell like 3 cards today.
That's so. See, a lot of people don't know that you got to make your money work, or you can have assets and they can still be as much as like putting your money in the bank or like.
Yeah.
For sure, you can make your money move. You know what I'm saying,
dude? It's all about how you do it. Like, there's definitely like how you spend your money. You know what I mean? Like, are you spending it on a whole bunch of shit that just wastes away, or are you spending it on some shit that really that can take you to the next level in the future, bro? I'm telling you, if you sacrifice, I tell my friends, if you sacrifice for 2-3 years, you'd be Gucci. Like, you could be good. You could be working a regular job. You're putting your shit together, and you can then in 2-3 years put your money wherever you want to put it at. I mean, that's just like early. I wish someone told me that early. You know what I mean? Like,
because what you're saying right now at 21, what? On my face. What you talking about?
Yeah, you know what I
3
mean?
years of my life? What?
I be talking to my nephews and stuff like that. Like, see, and that's crazy to me. So I take that back. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to my nephews and shit like that. And he all about the money, and that was not me at fucking 15. At 15, I was going like, man, where the PS4 at? Like, put me with the PS3. Give me some games. Like, give me a couple bucks to go buy some clothes. Like, she like, nah, bro. My little nephew like, hey, bro, like, show me how to get to 20,000. I just want it. Look,
That's
just want it for what? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't want my mom buy me shit no more. At 15, like, breathe. But it shows like generations gonna want more. Like, you know what I mean? The same shit that I was thinking, like, damn, like I didn't think about money until I was like 17, 18.
Yeah,
like
facts.
he's thinking about it at 14, 15. My sister started thinking about it at the same time, like 16, 17. So wild.
Yeah, but it's just like I said, just breaking that norm and that you know, I don't know, like that. Try to go into like Freudian theory, like just the super ego, like societal norms, and what you think is acceptable and what society wants you to be. And
You got to see someone do it first.
Of
Absolutely.
course, and that's why it's so inspirational to have you here, man.
Yeah.
23 years old, man, freaking making a whole bunch of money, chilling, doing whatever you gotta do, just making it, and it's not even a job anymore because that's your passion.
Yeah.
You found your purpose.
Yeah, it's cool, but but the cool thing about it is like, I'm all like, trying to think. It just grants you like, I feel like it's only a step. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people look at it and go like, I can't wait to get there, and then it's over. And then you get here, and if you think it's over here, that's why a lot of people don't stay here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you got to really get a grip. And I'm being honest. Like, there was a time period, bro. Like, I was sad as shit, and I was making the most money in my life. Like, it was just like sad as shit. Cause there was a point where I just lost. I was, everything was running pretty smoothly. You know what I mean? Like, I just lost my passion to do what I was doing, and I knew I know I love my business. I knew what I loved, like, doing it, but like, what changed? The reason why I was doing it changed, and that fucked me up.
What was the reason why before?
I was broke, bro. I was sleeping on my man's couch.
Yeah.
Like, I had nowhere to live. I had all my shit in like, the Tupperware boxes.
Yeah.
That I was waking up in the morning and seeing that shit and go like, all right, well, I can't stay on the couch. You know what I mean? Like, and then I went from that to living in, like, I had a really nice house for a little while, and I was like it's kind of hard to be motivated when I know I ain't got to really get up. You know what I mean? Like, and then from there, it really just started settling in. Like, holy shit! Like, I don't gotta do this shit no more. Like, I really don't. Like, and then what else is my days? And then I started buying, like, I was never the kid that was into like buying like Prada and other stuff for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, always cool wearing the same Vans and shit like that. But then, like, I try to get into buying some Balenciagas and all that other cool stuff, and, fashion and getting that shit. And I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I did grow into liking it a little bit, but like, it was just a distraction.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like empty and a void. You feel me? Like, and then on top of that, it was just, at the time I was going through a breakup and stuff like that. So like, all the things that were kind of like the shit I was working on, bro. Like, everything that I felt like it was motivating me to keep the business going on some shit. You feel me? Like, it was like, shorty, I'm doing this. We got crib. Like, you feel me? This shit. Like, I was like, damn, bro, I ain't got shit. Like, I could go buy this right now, but like, and then on top of that, when you realize you got some type of foundation where like a lot of people around my age don't, you would say, like, a lot of people are just there to be there. You feel me? Like, so I didn't want to really have people over all the time, because I know you just there because you get to be in a cool situation. You know what I mean? So it really made me appreciate like my passion. It made me appreciate the bread. It made me really learn that money really ain't all about it. You know what I mean? I started traveling the world a lot. So the last 2 years I traveled, like, I stopped this year, like, in
March.
Like March, April. Yeah, I do like March, April. But like before this, last 2 years, bro, I was going to different countries, different shit. Like understanding different cultures, bro. That's was the big thing when I was traveling, bro. I realized that my job was really digital, and I could dead ass go anywhere and still make money. I just gotta like get on the time schedule, like you know what I mean, like. So I started understanding different cultures. You know what I mean? Understanding different people, understanding how they move, understanding like that this little bubble in New York, this little bubble in the United States is totally different in other places, and things that are acceptable in other places are not acceptable here. And like it just shows that you live in this whole different shit. Like the things that you might think is right or it might not be, or in different places. And it enabled me to grow more. It enabled me to do more. You know what I mean? And I think that's the big thing. It's that hunger to understand that there's more going on in this world. You know. At the same time, it's all insignificant either. So I think it's that both that equal balance of that, like, you know, like space is real with a whole bunch of other shit going on, and like we're like this, like a fucking pebble compared to like all the other shit that's going on. So if we died, that would all still going on. Makes me like wake up and do the shit I'm doing, because you never know. I was unfortunate to lose close to like 13 people this year.
Oh man.
Wow, because of COVID?
Yeah.
Not even because of COVID, just like unfortunately for different ways, you know. So it really made me appreciate, like, damn, it's about being alive. You know what I mean? Being here, you know, and appreciating my time here.
And cherishing those moments.
Hell yeah, the moments. This is all about the moments, because that's all you got.
At the end of the day, it's just moments, man. It's crazy that you say that.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a great interview, man. It was great having you here with us today,
It was
man.
a pleasure,
I wanna definitely have you back on. Like I see something that we can definitely touch up on. I definitely want us to, like, you know, work together exclusively to, like, you know, grow the podcast and grow the brand and stuff like that. I feel like it'll be a happy marriage.
Nah, I
You
feel
know what I'm
that.
saying?
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, to end it, you know, I hate to be vain, but how much money would you say you made in a day, bro?
Like ever?
Like in a day, like what's the most money you made in a day?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh no, we gonna put that in.
I
man.
mean, like 87,000 in one check one time.
87 grand in one day.
Yeah, it was one check. Yeah.
Must be nice.
On that note, I'm clearly not doing something. I'm doing something wrong with my life. But yes, yo, Z, I appreciate you coming on, man. You just like fucked up my whole life. Nigga said he made more in a day than what I make in a year. That shit is crazy.
That's why he raps. Ladies, no, I'm just kidding. That's not.
You know,
I've burnt it on a lot of stupid stuff though. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you
Trust me.
coming on, man. It was a dope combo, just real organic, and you know, I really want to be working with you, like, to kind of help grow the podcast. We're gonna actually be in Atlanta next week, so
Cool,
you know,
cool.
definitely
Enjoys.
You know, definitely gonna be, you know, networking out there. But
You gonna bring the podcast to Atlanta?
yeah, we're gonna bring it down there and stuff.
I'm
Like
gonna see if I can hook you up with some cool people.
Nah, man, let me know.
Please,
I got
please.
one interview set up, but if you can give me another one,
I get you more than one. I get you like 2 or 3.
all right, cool. That sounds good, man.
Alright,
That
cool.
sounds cool, man.
Just
We can
make sure
definitely-
Price knows. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, no, I'm gonna.
Remind Price so
okay.
he can remind me.
No. I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna hit him up today because I think that's my connection directly to you.
I'm not even gonna act like I'm really good at communication. I'm not. Like, like I'm gonna be one of those guys like, yeah, dude, hit me, man. Like, no, I'm terrible, bro. Hit Price up.
Got you, man. No. Now I appreciate it, man. So yeah, we're gonna be there next week, and you know, like I said, we're gonna be working together, kind of grow the brand, and you know, just grow organically, man.
Bro, enjoy that shit. Go see the CNN building if you ain't been there before.
Okay.
Great place to be.
Word.
You can even shoot a podcast there. It's really cool. I
Yeah.
mean, renting a room is pretty cheap.
Okay. I actually I did an Airbnb, and I'm trying to go to the Trap Museum.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
Trap Museum's cool. Yeah.
I'm trying to go down there.
5
man.
Points Mall. Gotta go
Okay.
there.
Okay.
That's a great mall you gotta go
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
Lenox Square. Another
Okay.
great one.
Was it Krog Street Market or something like that?
They're
too?
cool too. I'm trying to think of some really cool ones for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been there before. This is my second time.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. I'm just
You been to
trying
Stone Mountain?
I actually walked up Stone Mountain. It was the first day we were there. My cousin lives down there.
Yeah,
She
Stone
lives
Mountain.
in Tucker, so that's not too far
Okay,
from
yeah,
Stone
yeah,
Mountain.
yeah.
So it's cool, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming, man. I
Of course,
appreciate
bro.
you, man.
It was a pleasure, dude.
It was definitely dope, man. Yo, like I said, man, it's your boy Just Prince from the Balance Effect Podcast with
with your boy Benny
Thanks,
Musa.
Z, for coming in, man.
You dig. It was a pleasure.
Episode 5 is done, man.
It's over.
All right.
Cut. This shirt is fire, though, by the way.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm not trying to record that camera.
Design,
No, yeah, the balance effect. This shit's hard. I'm gonna wear it.
Nah, definitely, man. It's Pima cotton, man.
I see it. This is nice. It's nice.
It's Pima cotton, man.
Yeah, shawty, where's your mood today? Yeah, I'm super lucky, ain't got no school today. Stacking on this money is my mood.